Getting a win with random squad mates isn't about having godlike aim. In this video, let's talk about it. What's good everyone, ImageOmega here. If you're loving Apex Legends, you're also probably playing a game or two with random squad mates, or maybe randos are the only people you play with. It's for this reason that many people are crying out for solo queues to be put into the game. As of right now, Apex Legends is, by default, all 3-man squads, and for a good reason. The developers, Respawn, want you to experience the synergy of the different class-based legends. There's something quite powerful when you use their skills in conjunction, and each squad mate can then bring something unique and powerful to the table that benefits the entire squad. On the flip side, when you queue into a 3-person game and your teammates are total jerks or just plain incompetent, yeah, I get that too. The reason people want the ability to go solo is so that they aren't reliant on squad mates. It's super frustrating when a squad mate comes in and loots selfishly, leaving you high and dry. And if they're new or, just not very good at the game, well, then you can often find yourselves in a lot of 1 versus 3 situations. That's not very fun, is it? Well, unless you're one of those Twitch streaming gods. Anyways, if you were to queue in solo, you would at least have the peace of mind that when you happen upon a fight, it's not you versus 3 people, but rather 1 versus 1 versus whoever. Everyone would be out there for themselves, so that just makes it seem a whole lot more fair. But as of right now, 3-person squads is the name of the game. So, let's talk about the top things I do to secure that W when playing with randoms. First off, this one is obvious, but let me go into more depth. First is acknowledging and effectively using the in-game ping system. It's a total lottery when it comes to finding squad mates that may or may not have a mic. In fact, you may be the one that doesn't want to talk on voice comms, and that's fine. If you do have a mic, obviously use it. I've had players who wouldn't say a word until it's too late. So if you want to check and see if people are willing to use voice comms, try talking to them during the character select screen, or right before you jump. Just say, hey, how's it going? And see what happens. Now, if no one is talking, what you will absolutely have to do is force extra communication through the ping system. Even if people are using voice, you'll still want to use and abuse the ping system. At the hit of a button, the ping system is context sensitive, so whatever you're looking at, it'll notify your squad. Need loot? Ping what you're missing from your inventory. Find something you think your squad mates may need, like extra armor? Ping it for them. See enemies? You must ping them, especially if you're using voice. Even if everyone is talking, when you see an enemy, ping them and use voice to tell them. The ping gets everyone looking in the right direction without overly complicated descriptions, and alerts people to the fact that you're about to engage or the enemy is about to start shooting. One of the best ways to use the ping system is to show where you want to go or lead your squad in a general direction. Let me table that idea for a second. I'll get back to it. So let's start talking about starting the game off the jump. So, number 2, getting your jump right. Someone will be assigned jump master, and if you want to roll as a squad, you're at their mercy. You can influence their decision by pinging possible landing spots, but ultimately, you're going to want to roll with what the jump master decides. If that's you, great. I'd typically choose non-hot drops if you're not sure about your squad mates just yet. Find some place you guys can loot up together and only have to deal with 1 or 2 other squads coming in. I know how important it is to get that sweet loot, but when you land, you don't want to land too far away from your teammates. If someone is in trouble right off the bat, you'll want to be able to grab the first gun you see and rotate over to them right away. Keep an eye on the health bars in the lower left. If those bars start dropping or a muzzle flash starts popping up next to their border, you know that they need help. So stop what you're doing and go help them. This is true for randoms, friends, or whoever. Be a good squaddie. And number 3, establish a game plan for your squad. When you have random teammates and you're not speaking to each other, it can be pretty tough to figure out where to go or what your actual game plan is. Every once in a while, you may have that one squad mate that either goes lone wolf or tries to take the reins and runs off. Well, follow him. Just go with the flow. Move where they're going, and if you don't like it, try to get them to do something else using, you guessed it, the ping system.
After the initial loot phase, or maybe even sometime during it, if you're not feeling any immediate threats, start taking a look at that incoming circle and make a decision on where you'd like to go next. If you ping where you're thinking of going, your squad mates most likely will just follow. I find that most games, people either don't really care or are just okay with going with whatever the team decides. And in this case, that's your decision. But how do you decide where to go next? Where are you going to lead your troop? Determining factors go like this. What area do you think you can successfully fight in, possibly find a little more loot, and moves you towards the circle?
And this is number 4.
Now, when I first started playing Battle Royale games, there was this concept of moving along the skinny side of the circle. I didn't quite get that right away, so I want to explain it here. Off the start, the entire map is safe, but eventually, that ring will be closing in, bringing the damage. When you look at your map, you can see a white circle representing the new safe zone once that outer ring closes in. Typically, you don't want to be smack dab in the middle of the safe zone. You want to be on or working towards its outer edge as the zone closes in. And as the ring closes, you'll have a skinny side of the circle and a wide open side. The skinny side is where there isn't that much map to cover, or most of which has already been closed off to the initial ring. In order to be the safest, you'll want to move your squad around this skinny side of the circle. The wide open side will have the most number of squads coming in towards the safe zone and from the most possible angles. If we take a look at this example, we are in a bad situation, and I actually announced to my team that I want to avoid this area because I felt like it was a death trap. And by the way, if you ever feel bad about a situation, trust that little voice in your head and do something about it. Even if you're not sure what to do, hearing it and realizing it will be a huge step in figuring that out for future games. Anyways, the skinny side of the circle is towards where it says runoff on the map. We're right in the middle of the wider side of the circle where enemies could be running towards the safe zone from anywhere. Moving towards runoff and playing the outside edge of the circle would mean lowering the possibility that an unwanted squad would roll up on us or third party us as we engage in a fight. Also, try and always take the high ground. Being in a valley with lots of hills and buildings overlooking your position is a good way to find yourself being fish in a barrel. When you take high ground, you take a better vantage point where you can shoot with cover and keep your eye across the whole area. Plus, the map is very well designed with a myriad of choke points funneling into any given area.
High ground allows you to watch all these different choke points easily.
Now, this strategy of skinny side of the circle is purely about survival and not your ability to fight. As you progress in the game, or when you're playing with squad mates you trust, then your strategy of movement may be quite different. In fact, when I'm playing with a team, our strategy simply goes:
loot until you hear or see gunfire, hear gunfire, run towards gunfire.
And that brings us to number 5. Most of the time, the best loot you're going to find in the game is going to come from your fallen enemies. With this in mind, you don't want to stay too long in any one area looking for loot. Ultimately, you guys are going to get into a fight, so keep moving. And when you get into and win a fight, go ravage those sweet, sweet death boxes. This is why you want your whole squad present and to keep them moving safely together. You want to be in a 3v3 fight or better. So as you're leading them to victory, when you see an enemy, ping it, and then ping it again. Seriously, the double enemy ping can be instrumental in really getting your random squad mates' attention. This is one of the many reasons I use one of my extra mouse buttons just for pinging the enemy. Now, I'm not saying to spam the notification, but when you ping once, you get their attention. When you ping twice, you typically convince them to act. It's literally a psychological thing. It's like someone telling you to do something, then getting louder and asking you again to do it.
There's just something about that second time that gets you to react because now you know they're serious.
And hopefully you're winning these fights because you're doing everything else we've already said. Take advantage of the high ground, be together, ping together, fight together. Most other squads aren't stacked up on top of each other, so pick one off. And now you've turned a 3v3 into an easy 3v2. As far as actual fighting strategies, I'm partial to moving up on the enemy, getting in their face, together. If there's one thing that's really successful in this game, it's the swarming of your squad onto an enemy.
Just be careful of those pesky grenades, airstrikes, and being baited with a peacekeeper to the face.
One of the traps of this game too is when you win a fight, it flashes all sorts of death messages on your screen and in the kill feed. The announcer may even come on and say you're the new kill leader, and then your legends all start talking to each other about what a great job you just did. All this gives you a sense of accomplishment and lulls you into feeling safe.
Until another enemy squad rolls up on you.
So once you win a fight, yes, it's time to loot, but then we just circle back to what we said before. Don't overstay your welcome. Another enemy squad heard your gunfight and is on their way. Loot, move towards the skinny side of the circle, and keep high ground as best as you can.
I think those 5 are a fantastic place to start and keep in mind. Whenever you're working on improving anything in life, especially a video game, you don't want to attempt to improve too many things at once.
That being said, I do want to throw out some bonus ideas that all happen before you even get into the game. 1. Wear a headset. A good pair of headphones will always win out in giving you the tactical advantage. The enemy's actions, like their footsteps, are always so much louder than your squad's. So if you hear some abnormally loud footsteps, it's probably an enemy stalking you. Ping for your team and get ready. Bonus number 2. Maybe try playing as Lifeline. She has the fastest heal time in the game, meaning she can pop shields, syringes, and even Phoenix kits faster than every other legend. If you get a legendary gold backpack too, which helps you heal even faster, you become the healing champion. And number 3, nothing trumps experience. Even if all these ideas aren't working for you right off the bat, I promise they do work. And it is exactly how I learned to and continue to play the game, securing those W's.
Alright, I crazy appreciate you guys being here and giving my thoughts a listen. I hope this helped you out, and if it did, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And please consider subscribing to the channel for future content. I am grateful for any comment or feedback that you'd leave for me, so please, in the comments below, tell me what you think and maybe even share what you'd like to see me cover in the future. This is super helpful to me as I start and figure out this content creator journey. That's it for me, legends. I'll see you next time.